Okay, so all the families out there who have dealt with CPS, who've had their children stolen, who's been mistreated by this government agency, here is how we're initiating this investigation. This is the Family Forward Project on Facebook. It is a public group. We have around 18,000 members. We've been working on this as a grassroots lobbying group since 2015. On this page, there is a pinned post. It says Family Forward, all states, JOT form. If you click on that, it will take you to this form. This form will, if you go through it, read through it very carefully, okay? Read through the whole thing and then come back and fill it out. You're going to see there are check boxes here. You're going to check everything that applies. And then we're going to get a little bit of background on the agency, the state, the date, the time period, the people that are involved, the costs that you've had, the current status of your case. And then there are some very specific issues you want to focus on, okay? We've got, again, some background information, the parents. All right, as to the investigation, were there any events, including false statements in reports, interrogations, photographs of children, law enforcement involvement, recorded statements, any other events that led up to the removal of the children? Specifically, if there was anything that happened, but it was not an emergency, and yet the state agency used that to remove your children. If there was domestic or sexual violence, whether or not that was treated properly or not. If the state agency required your children to have vaccines, if you gave parental consent, whether or not they cooperated with kinship placement, how the court-appointed attorneys handled the case, whether it was the parent attorneys or the children's attorneys, if there were disabilities of the children or the parent, how their disabilities were treated and handled by the state agency, and any other risk conditions, if your children were moved multiple times while they were in foster care, if they were injured in foster care, any of the nonprofit agencies that were involved and whether or not they helped or hindered in your case, the mental health, if there were mental health allegations, whether or not they were true, if you were required to do medical assessments, if there was medical neglect or abuse, or if you were alleged to have been medically abusive, and yet your child had a complex medical condition. The evaluations and testing, how they were handled, the psychological damage that occurred to your family and children, how taxpayer funds have just been wasted in your case, and whether or not you were discriminated, whether that was for poverty, race, religion, gender, disability, military service, nationality, intelligence, or otherwise. Just describe that discrimination. We also want to know about how the court process worked for you. Was it done timely? Did you get discovery? Were you able to be heard in court? Did the court take evidence? And then the reasons for the dependency, adjudication, or termination of your parental rights. And if there's anything else that we have forgotten to ask you, to please include that. And if you believe something else could have been done better in your case, give us an outline of what you believe that is. And if there are some specific documents that you believe will help us to show and give credibility to your case, you can upload them in that final entry where it says Browse Files. You would just click on that and it would give you an opportunity to choose a file, send a photo, or take a photo or video. And then you hit the Submit button. All right, now it has an opportunity or an option down here to save. I just have to be honest with you. I don't know how well that works. So it's best if you set aside 45 minutes to go through this whole thing. Maybe look at it first, make yourself some notes before you begin, or even type your answers into another format and then paste them in here. We have already 92 submissions in just the past couple of weeks. I am adding this to this almost 800 pages I have received from families in the past to submit to the Senate for a foster investigation. We need your help and we want to help you. Family Forward Project.